Hi, welcome to the Retirement Railroad Net Miling Tip of the Day, and it's time for part 10.4 in our Building Aurora series, and we're actually going to start assembling the panels. But first, we've got to mix up some craft paint, and so that we can match the color of the plastic of the kit, which is a creamy yellow, so I can paint over the red brick panels that I had to use in the panel modifications. All right, so let's go to the workbench and I'll show you what I did. All right, so I utilized some warm buff, some classic caramel, and some toasted marshmallow. Alright, a little dab of this, a little dab of that, and about 3 to 1, 3 of these for every one of each of those. Then I added just a little bit of the school bus yellow. Okay, a little bit of this goes a long way. And I've mixed it up. And I think you'll agree it's a pretty close match. It's going to be close enough for what we're working with. Alright? Because although the red panel gets sprayed, so does everything else. It's part of a blending process. So on top of this, I add, because I'm going to utilize the airbrush, some airbrush reducer and extender. Put a bunch of that in there. It's got to be thinned down a lot. And I just simply utilize a popsicle stick. Get her down into a watery consistency. One of those deals where I don't think you can get it too thin. Maybe you can. I definitely know too thick and it won't flow through the airbrush worth a darn. Alright. So, I'm going to take this panel out to my high-tech spray booth, which is simply outside, and give her a coat or two. So stay tuned. Alright, so I airbrushed the matched paint onto the red brick panel here, and the color is pretty darn close, but it doesn't look like it because the mortar lines are dark here and neutral there. So let's take care of that and give this a nice wash of this mortar. Alright, so what I'm doing, and you probably can't see it on the camera, but I'm using a very light gray wash and brushing it on, and use a sponge that you have to keep clean. You got to rinse it off every now and then, and you use it to wipe off the face of the brick, leaving the wash in the brick lines. Let's take a look at one here. So I've gone ahead and I put a wash of light gray over both panels to fill in the mortar work. And I've added 2 more coats of the matching color, it's still off a little bit. Now, hindsight being 2020, meaning what you think about before you start may not be the same as what you think about after you start or after you finish. So, hindsight being 2020, if I had to do it over again, I would have gone ahead and primed both panels to get them even, and then come back and painted both panels. But it is what it is, so we'll go from there. Now, in the process of applying the mortar wash after the first coat of paint, should have done that first before the first coat of paint, I put some scratches in it. So you'll see an area like this. I'm not too concerned about that, because as I do the variations, and I'm going to use, the three colors I use to make up this, all right, I will do individuals and make some splotchy brickwork, and that'll occur on all of the panels. So a lot of that gets covered up. And then at the end, I come with some washes, some gray and rust and so forth, and we'll even everything out. Or at least that's the plan. All right, so with that, let's go ahead and start assembling some of these panels. Let's get this one out of the way because it's one of the last ones we'll utilize. One point. So, first panel we want to work with is this wall over here. Okay. All right, so I've changed the view a little bit to give you a better straight down view or viewpoint. So the next thing is we're going to try to put this piece on. So it's a little disappointing with the steps going on, the painting, some of the truncation. All in all, went together okay, but I think you'll agree it doesn't quite match up. And the weathering can take care of a lot of that, but I'm just not happy with it. Okay, it's sitting there. You can tell that that center panel is just off a little bit. So I think I'm going to go in and repaint the whole thing. All right. And at least give it a good dusting before I add the windows and weather it. So with that, that ends part 10.4 of the Aurora build, the Milwaukee Brewery. Stay tuned for 10.5 where I fix today's screw-ups. Alright, I want to thank you for joining me here at the Retirement Railroad Matinee Modeling Tip of the Day. I'm Steve, and y'all have a great day. Bye now.